Ministry of Hajj and Umrah in the first virtual meeting to enrich the experience of the pilgrims regarding the services, hotel services and hospitality. Since this conferences is held in the light of the ministry uh, providing a number of services for the pilgrims and with the participation of a number of global and local companies specializing in hospitality and hotel services. And that's to exploit all the investment services and the long-term partnership to market the services in inclusion with the global distribution system, also known as Saudi GDS. I'm glad to start this conference with an opening speech from the Minister of Hajj and Umrah. Your Excellency. In the name of Allah, the most gracious and most merciful, and peace be upon Prophet Muhammad and his. Your Excellency, the sound is muted. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, praise to Allah, and peace be upon Prophet Muhammad and his companions. Prophet Muhammad, I'm glad to welcome you all in the first edition of the virtual meeting to enrich the pilgrims experience, and it will be focused on the services, the hospitality and hotel services provided to the pilgrims, as the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah is work in an inclusive system with different government entities and the private sector to serve the pilgrims since from the very first point for them as they plan their trip for Hajj and Umrah, as we are working with them in their respective countries to provide the information and the possibility of receiving services before they enter the kingdom, and to ensure those services are provided and try to provide the best services and enjoy the best times in the land of the two holy mosques and until the point of their departure. We are working with pilgrims, as we always say, from their first step. In this virtual meeting, we will shed the light on what the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah is performing and participating, providing the services in the hospitality and the hotel services, since we have built the GDS system that will enable all the Muslims from all the parts of the world to view the available services in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And as we have some of the facilities that are accredited by the government entities, and especially those facilities in the holy cities of Mecca and Medina, also to enable them to view the experiences, those who have used those facilities with great transparency, and to understand the level of services, and to give those the opportunity to evaluate the services and to ensure that they increase the level of excellency as we provide those services for the pilgrims in the light of a clear and fair competition. As you all know, that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is honored to serve the pilgrims of all the Muslims in all the parts of the world without exception, as their numbers are exceeding, and their numbers are exceeding 1.8 billion Muslims around the world, and with directions from the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz, may Allah preserve him, and with the continuous review from the Crown Prince, Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah is always keen to ensure that the services and the memories of the pilgrims will be an eternal memory, as we are trying to facilitate their journey and to ease the process of them entering the kingdom and provide the best services for the pilgrims while they are performing their rituals and to the duration of their stay in the kingdom and to the point of their departure from the kingdom as they reach their countries safely. And the ministry will always work hard to ensure that we engage in partnerships with the private sector to ensure strategic partnership, as there are many initiatives that will be raised to the level of the services provided, and will also keep up with the institutional transformation for all the institutions working in this sector to enhance the hospitality services in Saudi Arabia, and to provide the best standards, global standards. And after this conference, there will be a number of workshops with those entities that work in the sector of Hajj and Umrah for training and to better understand this new methodology. Thank you for all those who have participated and have worked to ensure the success of this virtual conference. For all those working in the private sector, the global companies and the local companies, and my thanks are extended to all who participated with us in this virtual meeting, and hopefully we will reach satisfactory results as we expected. Hoping for all that they achieve success, and hopefully we'll meet again in future conferences to talk about the other services that will be as some of the initiatives marketed through by the GDS system for accommodations and the flights and the other services provided in the programs. I hope the best for you, and I extend my thanks for all those who participated and in this virtual conference, and peace be upon you. We thank Your Excellency for the speech, inclusive speech, and if I may, please, we will start the working papers today, but there are some remarks. Each speaker will have only 15 minutes. There will not be any questions or interventions, but after we conclude, we'll open the door for Q&A. So I hope for that any of you that have any questions to wait for the end of the sessions, and we can direct the question to the appropriate speaker. The first paper today will be by the Deputy Minister of Hajj and Umrah, will be mentioned by the Superintendent of the Global Distribution System, Dr. Aman Rida Al-Madah, and the title will be The Strategies of the Ministry to Enrich the Experience of Pilgrims. Thank you, Dr. Tamer. I'm not sure we still have the share screen, so I can all can view my presentation. Can we still have the share screen so you can view my presentation? Is it clear now? Today we will be talking briefly about the strategies of the ministry to enrich the experience of the pilgrims and develop the services provided to them and the Umrah system in general. In the kingdom, praise to Allah, we have around the world there are 1.6 billion people who are keen to visit the kingdom. So the kingdom is in the heart of the Islamic world. From all parts of the world, they want to visit the kingdom. So in America, we have 2 million in North America, and much more in South America, North Africa, and more than 1 billion Muslims in Asia. So we're talking about diversity here, as the different races who come for Hajj. There is diversification in places and their needs also from different countries. So this is one of the elements that is part of how we can crystallize our strategy in the next Umrah season. The vision of the kingdom is focused, when we talk about Umrah, on three main levels. It is to enable 3 million pilgrims to enter the kingdom by 2030. This is one of the main goals that was part of the Vision 2030. And the second aspect of it is to enrich the experience for the pilgrims, and we'll talk more about the enrichment processes. And the third aspect is to raise the level of the current services provided to the pilgrims. Those are the three main goals that we have in the vision of 2030 as in regards to Umrah. So if we want to speak about the ministry specifically, the ministry have a specific strategy. In the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah, the vision is always to provide a safe and facilitated experience for the pilgrims. We have a message that we always work on and to plan accordingly and to work with the local authorities to reflect a very respectful image of the kingdom. And we have certain initiatives that will enable us to achieve those goals, to improve the services, and to achieve sustainability in those sectors, and to provide more services in the future, of course. And the first aspect, which is the main axis, as far as the new and modern strategies that we're currently working on, if we talk about the categories of the pilgrims or those performing Umrah, who are those performing Umrah? We have in the beginning, we have the local citizens, 1.3 performing Umrah. We have expatriates from different nationalities, 6.4 million. We have the GCC citizens, 1.2 million. We have the visitors of the kingdom from receiving different visas. Those who have Umrah visas reach 7.5 million. So the reason I'm showing this slide to know the diversity of the different those performing Umrah. So the enablers to enable our strategic plan in the sector of Umrah and the pilgrims in general is the institutional transformation. And we will go into details. And the second aspect is the mechanisms of providing the services. Maybe this is the main focus. So those are the tools that would enable us to achieve the modern strategies. This strategy works on two main axes. The first axis is to review the mechanisms of work that will enable to expand the base of consumers. Currently, if we are uh, many companies working on one category of the different people who try to perform Umrah, so they limit the services on a certain category. The second aspect or the second axis is to diversify the types of services provided to the pilgrims. We are always limiting ourselves to one category, and the list of the services is limited, but we are trying to achieve enrichments to diversify the level of services and to expand the base of the consumers. Those are the two main axes. So, what is this transformation exactly? Expanding the services. So, what are the goals that we are trying to achieve? First, we are to raise the level of experience that the those performing Umrah will encounter. They will find the proper service for them. And even the entities that provide these services now they have the opportunity to provide more services that will go in hand with the services. The second thing is we'll open the door to provide different services, whether they are related to Umrah or enriching the experience while the pilgrims are in the kingdom. The third goal that we're currently working on that we are allowing the service providers an opportunity to provide specialized services according to the standards, such as the incubators and so forth. The fourth and last is to benefit from providing the different services for the pilgrims. Those four goals will be achieved by the institutional transformation with expanding the base of the consumers. So, what are the reasons that led us to base our strategies on those goals? As we mentioned, currently most of the companies provide the very basic services and they always focus on one category of those pilgrims. The lack of the transparency in the package that the pilgrims receive, the travel package. So we are trying to take into consideration the system, whether they're in the kingdom or abroad. So the services provided to those performing Umrah by their foreigner agent. We always hoping that it will be according to the contracts as provided by the company. So we always trying to raise the level of transparency for the pilgrims. The third goal, to raise the level and the competency of those working in the sector by categorizing the services and providing the appropriate conditions, as we are trying to have a proper transformation process. So as we always see, there are different types of visas, the current transformation, so the compatibility need this institution's transformation. And the last point is to benefit from all the capabilities of the fixed assets of those companies while they provide those services. We are always keen that the companies will form coalitions to benefit from their fixed assets, the transportation, the facilities, the hotels available, any of the services. They are exceptional and unique to those companies. So we'll talk about the services. Currently, if we ask an OTA or a Umrah company, what are the services provided? The answer will be always that we are a company that we provide land services. So transportation services will provide transportation services and so forth. Well, what we are trying to unify the system of the service providers, and under that will be a number of other services according to certain strategies and standards. So if they are able, they will be authorized to provide those services. So if we're trying to cluster those services under the transportation services, we will find four main services between the rituals, between the cities, transportation between the cities. In the residential services, there are different services or other residential accommodation services, and the land services will be expanded. Guidance, support, and we have a new aspect that we would like to work on: translation, provide Zamzam water, helping those with disabilities, incubators for children. So this is are not limited to those services provided currently. So this is under the responsibility of those companies providing the services. So if you have a new idea that the pilgrim need, all you need to do is to provide an application, and then if it follows the standards, then the company will be authorized. So those are the new services we're trying to provide. So we're talking about unifying the system for the services providers, so that the standard will be the same among all companies, and the difference will be basically if they have the appropriate fixed assets that will help them to enable the services, because we have each company will be forming some type of coalition that help them to provide those services. So if we talk about the path of those services and how it will be, we'll find the local pilgrims have certain needs that differ from those coming from abroad. Here we are not talking about compulsory conditions. We're talking about the needs. We're talking about supply and demand and the current local market. So those in the local market, they will need transportation uh, from certain areas in the kingdom, or if they need those accompanies the elders, those services will be provided also. The abroad pilgrims will need services for flight, accommodation. So we are hoping that each company will be focusing on a number of services that they have the experience in it, if they have the fixed assets to provide the services. So how can we have services for each point of the journey for those pilgrims? So if it's not limited to one category, providing one or three services, for example, it will provide all the services. This is the enrichment that we are trying to reach. So I think that's my 15 minutes, and I'm thankful for listening. Thank you, Dr. Amr, for this exceptional presentation, and hoping that the experience of the pilgrim will be continuously improving with the current improvement that we see in the ministry and the partnership we currently see and we have with the private sector, whether they are local companies or global companies. Now we move to the second uh, uh, presentation of today, as we so we'll start with the GDS and then move to the next paper. It will be provided by the GDS operator, provided by Mr. Abdurrahman bin Fat Shams, the Counselor of the Minister of Hajj and Umrah, the Superintendent of the Global Distribution System, to talk briefly about the GDS, its benefits and its impact on the Hajj and Umrah season and those working in this sector. If you may please, Mr. Abdurrahman. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, and peace be upon Prophet Muhammad and his companions. Thank you, Your Excellency, the Minister of Hajj and Umrah, the Deputy Minister, Your Excellencies, the deputies, and all the audience from the different companies. We thank all the audience for this very effective participation today. And the title of the paper will be speaking about the GDS centralized reservation system. In the past paper, Dr. Amr has explained that the ministry have launched a number of initiatives that is targeted to enrich the experience of the pilgrim, and one of those initiatives is the GDS centralized reservation system. And maybe the minister have shed the light on that the minister is honored to provide the services for the pilgrims from the starting point until the point it becomes a mirror, from the point they travel in the country until and then receiving the package or the travel package according to their needs, to the point of reaching the ports of the kingdom as they're welcomed, and as they move into their residence or the accommodation places, and performing their rituals, whether they want to visit different areas in the kingdom of the Medina area. Maybe the services will be diversified, but the experience will be enriched, as I assure. Maybe they want to visit some of the historical sites, or they want to receive different types of accommodation. Uh, but until the point of their departure of the kingdom and they reach their designated country. This journey we're just trying to have a full screen for this presentation. Okay, today the subject of this blessed conference is to enrich the experience of the pilgrim. So we are focusing on this part of this inclusive journey of the pilgrim. There were a number of special initiatives to develop this system of hospitality and hotels services. The ministry may be one of the first entities that have developed their services and focused on the system of the hospitality services. They have established the center of the information of Hajj al and they have developed different paths, and it was one of the main pillars that were really concerned of those paths is the different administration areas, whether they provide transportation service or accommodation service, and they continue to develop during those years until 1437. There was a royal decree to accredit the path for Umrah, the electronic path for Umrah, and this royal decree, the path includes all the accommodation, the flights, and so forth, all the information regarding the pilgrim. So the ministry took upon itself to implement this royal decree to this fullest extent after receiving a number of studies. Until 1441, they launched the GDS for centralized services as the first Saudi system, in administrating the system of pilgrim services in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And praise to Allah, during this 20-year journey, and the ministry have been providing the services for more than 18 million pilgrims performing Umrah with the highest level of technology. Uh, that during this period there were no any security threat at that point, and now we shed the light. What is the GDS centralized system? Is the first system, Saudi system, that works with the GDSs, or the global distribution system, to market and sell on services for the pilgrims or the local pilgrims, that through the global marketing platforms. There are a number of links that the system
اللي
is
نحن إن شاء
always
الله بعد نهاية
supply and demand,
الملتقى
and maybe after the end of the
حيكون
conference,
هذه المواد متاحة
the
للسائل.
materials will be available for all to view, and the service providers that are maybe through that those systems will be maybe they'll put the content that they need, and provide the prices, and also the administration of contracts between the different companies, that uh, all of that will be administered by systems that are correlated to the GDS. We take all those data, and we make sure that all the service providers are authorized by the appropriate entities. For example, if we talk about the hotel sector, it must be authorized by the Ministry of Tourism. Transportation must be authorized by the Transportation Ministry. And we also ensure that all the legal documents are provided, as far as registering with the VAT and the civil defense systems, all that is needed to ensure that all the requirements and conditions are provided, ensuring that what is presented is a true services provided by an authorized entity, to ensure the quality of those services. We provide this information and those services for our partners, the electronic marketing platforms, and through those service providers, they will try to market those services to their clients directly. As far as the demand, and looking at the ambitious vision of the kingdom, as is pointed out by the doctor in his previous paper, we have huge numbers, more than 1 million tourists coming to, in addition to the local pilgrims. So the demand is very high, and the need to provide those types of services in a professional manner is still at high demand and of great importance. Praise to Allah, today we're not coming here today to talk about a certain initiative or a project that is still on the desks, but today we are talking about a story of success that's already been implemented, and the GDS system is already active. In the past season of Hajj, it was active, and which has halted due to the pandemic. But as you see, you have the numbers, you have data for all the operations that has been implemented by using the GDS. We served more than 3.8 pilgrims performing Umrah, and the number of the applicants using this platform, more than 67,000 reservations for 3.8 million pilgrims performing Umrah, which was available to us on the GDS platform. We are talking about 680 hotels. We're just talking about two cities, Mecca and Medina. They presented more than 196,000 beds. I'm sorry, rooms, and the total capacity on the GDS system was 758,000 beds daily. So this is a story of success that we are all proud of, and we thank our partners in the success in this system. We thank all the foreign agents, the marketing platforms, and the local and the global companies. Today, as usual, we are all trying to continuously develop our services. The ministry have taken into consideration and uh, to serve their the customer service methodology, and all those who want to come to Saudi Arabia, and we always regard those coming to Saudi Arabia as our guests, and we must provide appropriate services for the guests of Rahman, as we refer to those pilgrims. So the journey of the pilgrim performing Umrah, and what is the added value that we provide for the system inclusively, whether it's provided by government or local entities. We always tried at each point of contact to enrich this experience for all the pilgrims. The added value. Why are we talking about why this specific system? Why the Saudi GDS? Maybe we are the first Saudi GDS, but there are different systems. So, what exactly is the added value here that we provide by the GDS centralized system? We have five added values, and in detail we will see how we can achieve each value. As far the first will be control, transparency, quality, and how to reach our targeted clients, and to enable the service providers and provide the enablers to market and provide the services. So first, let's talk about accessibility and the reach that we work on the GDS centralized system. We always tell the service providers in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia that all you have to do is to ensure that you have the license in the appropriate entity, and once you have your license, we will present all your products on those inclusive marketing platforms. So this will raise the level of supply and demand, and the level of supply. I'm doing a free marketing for all the hospitality services in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the past, or even today, there were a marketing effort that needed to be provided by the service provider to look for the appropriate platforms and then to contract with them so they can present their services. And there's also a marketing burden for the other entities as they go on field trips for each specific hotel, and then they have special contracting agreements. Now, through the centralized system, we have an inclusiveness to this relationship without any marketing efforts from both parties, just to be linked to the membership of the centralized system. There will be an ability to reach uh, a huge base of customers through those platforms, and then to enable them to see all the services provided. Also, some of the added values that we provide through the GDS centralized system is we ensure that we are a transparent platform. We don't have any certain entities that the pilgrims will deal on. They will be dealing through the platform or marketing ports through our clients. We contact the service providers directly so that we can present all the services they provide, and after uh, as the relationship with the ministry of the different companies, there will be there will be good marketing for those services. So, for example, the General Entertainment Authority have a number of activities, and also the Sports Authority have a number of conferences and activities and events. So all the visitors of those platforms, after they conclude uh, presenting the presentation of the platform and to receive their reservation, they will be able to view any additional services, and then they will be automatically redirected to the marketplace that is correlated to GDS, and that shows all the service provided linked to us. So all those who want to enter the kingdom, whether they use one of the government platforms or if they came to the ports directly, to the airports directly, now there's a high level of coordination that some of the countries that have that are provided the visa on arrival services, there will be special services through the centralized system, and also the marketing platforms. They have campaigns, they have huge marketing campaigns. So all those who reach those platforms, they will be able to reach the those services on this centralized system. As far as transparency and the impact on quality and the cost, simply today in every service there's a service provider and a number of agents. So the more agents that we have between the service provider and the receiver, this weakens the transparency and the authenticity of the service, and that also raises the cost because each agent has a certain markup or a cost that or a percentage that they add to that service. So through the GDS centralized system, so we are linking the service provider directly with the beneficiary by through just one centralized system, which is this platform. So it's not necessarily that the agent will be a different marketing platform, but maybe the service providers themselves, the international hotels system, for example, or those who have portals on the internet, they can be working with us directly through the OTA systems, or they be a direct contact with the receiver of those services. Today, we will say in the Saudi GDS, we have huge marketing channels. So what you see today before you is a part of a huge marketing plan that will exceed in different phases what we have reached up to date. We have the marketing platform. We have more than 200 applications that we receive from different countries for international marketing platforms. So we're currently working with 31 platforms, and we are still working to review the other platforms. So we always try to evaluate each platform that would like to join the membership of this platform, uh, whether they have the technical and the operational coverage and the ability to market according to our standards. And today in the ministry, we have more than 6,500 foreign agents to provide Umrah services. They will be regarded the first line of marketing in a number of countries. In the kingdom, we have 750 organizers for Umrah. We're talking about local companies here in the kingdom, which is considered a very strong marketing channel, providing hospitality and hotel service. One of the strategic partners, Sabre, which is considered the second GDS on a global level. We have signed with them on a strategic partnership. More than 500,000 travel and tourism agents in the kingdom around the world. So we are talking about 500,000 agent linked to Sabre. So Sabre is a member of the GDS centralized system for the hospitality and hotel services. And currently, we're still working with Medius and Galileo and different other GDSs and other companies around the world. With the praise to Allah, this will enable the hospitality and the hotel sector to market their services for all the visitors of the kingdom, and those huge numbers that we are currently seeing hopefully will be achievable with the collaboration of the efforts of all. I thank you for listening, and I ask Allah to help us achieve success. I think that I'm just viewing the future now as I'm listening to those presentations. Now we move on to the media sponsor. Maybe Mr. Abdulrahman took an extra time, but due to the fact that it was enjoyable, that presentation, but maybe we'll give the time to the rest of the speakers. Now we move to the scientific sponsor, the custodian of Two Holy Mosque Center for Research on Hajj and Umrah, Dr. Bassem Harim, the dean of this institute, to talk about the characteristics of the pilgrims and its impact to reach the services. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, and peace be upon Prophet Muhammad and his companions. Thank you. We thank the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah for this unique gathering, new of its kind, and we thank that you included us, the center, in this blessed event. Let's talk to the audience to a new path and a different path, if you may, and we are looking at the impact of the characteristics of the pilgrims, and through those characteristics of those pilgrims, how can we enrich their experience while they are in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Truly, each person have characteristics, and the uniqueness of the pilgrims. What is unique to us, we have more than 188 nationalities that come to the kingdom from different parts of the world, with different economies, different ages, males, females, the ports of arrival, the ports of departure, the languages, and this is something is very impactful. And as pointed by my colleagues, the vision has greatly looked at enriching the experience, a full program about the quality of life, which is a main component of enriching the experience, and the program of the pilgrims that have stated clearly to develop the services and as part of enriching the experience of the pilgrims. Let's talk about what are the numbers and the statistics and its impact, how it changes our mindset and how we think about the pilgrims. Do you know that most of the pilgrims know very well about the services, and most of the services, 10% of the pilgrims have higher education, 20% are below the average education. So the Japanese pilgrims are less than 100,000. So this, for example, changed of our mindset of how we think we deal with those pilgrims. Of course, the studies and the researches and the characteristic of the pilgrim will affect the services provided for them and how to reach the experience. Of course, those estimation or the future estimation of the, by until 2050. So, what is the trend, and where are things moving towards? Some of the countries will be moving to the top, and some countries will be on the bottom of the list. Some countries have some sort of a stability in the growth of the numbers as they visited the kingdom. Of course, most of the data we receive from the United Nations are the religious studies centers. This issue, if we know the characteristics and we try to correlate it to the future expectations, maybe I can build a service and build the services upon to the long term. The some of the tools to build our expectation is the artificial intelligence, and the center have done a number of researches in this regard, and by analyzing the characteristics of the pilgrims using the algorithms and the artificial intelligence, machine learning. So we want to know exactly what the pilgrim, how far or how close is the mosque, if they need to go to the market, do they care about local transportation, if they want to visit local parks. And through the artificial intelligence and data mining, you'll be able to deploy this issue and to summarize of how you can understand the characteristics of that pilgrim to enrich their respective experience, which they came for, or maybe they did not know or expect. So this is how the artificial intelligence works in this regard. So let's take one of the examples as far as the accommodation. As His Excellency the Minister has pointed out, from the idea to the memory. So this is have some sort of analysis for the journey from the port of arrival the point of arrival, before they come here, what are the expectations, the reception employee, even the lift, and the stairs, the room, the restaurants, all the simple details from a very long journey till the point of their departure, how to we can see that mental image of the pilgrim. We must get into the details with all with great depth. So, for example, the arrival, the fatigue, and of the pilgrims, if they're tired from the travel, of course, it has to do with the accommodation. But maybe there are some alternatives if we provide. If you find restrooms for those pilgrims in certain areas, some of the enrichment elements the reception employee is part of the experience, and to enrich it also in the room. What's the color? The bed, I'm sorry, but yes, the sheets and the bed. We'll get into those details. We'll have some type of an Umrah reflection. So if we what are the things that I want to see? What are the images? Yes, we see the signs, we see the guided signs, but what are types of publications? What are the channels they're interested in to watch on TV? And even the restaurant, the dates, for example, of course, is have a great correlation to Mecca and Medina. If I'm going to provide the dates, maybe I can have some time of agreement with the dates merchants that will receive at the lower price those dates products. Yes, there are some simple things that are of great beneficiary. So part of my experience is if I heard a certain hadith from Prophet Muhammad that talks about days, for example. So it's of great importance when we uh, think of the pilgrim that are the main access of the services. If there, if we don't have this guest or that pilgrim, as we refer to the guest of Rahman, we wouldn't be here to talk about this issue. So, what are the needs of those pilgrims? The other thing is expectations. There are some expectations to those pilgrims. The third issue, also that we can add to what we have said, as we know in the science of quality, is the need. Sometimes they don't need and they don't expect by experience in the sector. They will say that the guest will need a certain service, so I must be able to provide the service. So it's a mixture between their what they expect and what they need. Maybe let me conclude that we should not forget about three services. The responsibility of the service. As we provide the service, we must feel that it's a national duty and a religious duty. This is the the we have more than 200 nationalities that all arrive at Mecca and Medina. There's a global message, a religious message, a national message that we must be able to reach it, give it to the pilgrim. But we always trying to enhance and develop service. Any enrichment outside of the sector must be based on the experience of Umrah. So that guest came for Umrah. If they move to a different area, if they move to a hotel outside the rituals areas, outside Mecca or Medina, he must we must ensure that he just leave the ritual sites and he still continuing with the same levels of services. Also, the fact that the feelings of the pilgrims at that point still by the feelings that he had while he was visiting or she was visiting those rituals. Of course, if we continue on this level of efforts, we will have a success story to tell, and then we reach the enrichment that we are trying to achieve. To qualify the workers in the sector is a very important part to enrich the experience, whether that or whether that the person, each employee have a certain qualification, and without the qualifications, we will not be able to achieve the enrichment. In the past, those qualifications, the residents of Mecca, Medina, they know that it's fed to them since their childhood. They know how to serve that, but they are moving to institutionalization now. So this is was inherited one generation after another. Now we are moving to the institutional part of it. So this is there must be training provided for those working in the sector. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, the Deputy. I thank the audience and praise to Allah. Thank you, the dean of the center, and I'm sure that will be part of the plans and the strategies and the partnerships of the ministry because uh, the needs and the demands of the program distribution is the main component to provide the service and to reach high levels of services. Now we move to the fourth paper for today, titled the role of Saudi Arabia supporting the initiatives of the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah to support the Kingdom Vision 2030, provided by Dr. Majid Mohammed Hamid, the director of the Holidays Program. Dr. Bassem, if you can stop the shared screen. Okay, peace be upon you. So let's have a full screen presentation if you may. So you can see the remarks. Okay, just click on the three dots, click on hide presenter view. Peace be upon you, and peace be upon Prophet Muhammad and his companions. We thank the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah for the invitation to present the initiative of the Saudi Airlines and to explain the role of the Saudi Airlines and to support the initiatives of the Ministry of Hajj uh, in accordance with the Kingdom Vision 2030. We will start to present maybe in brief some of the opportunities that will help us the compatibility with the vision, as we have seen some of the papers presented by the as far as the projects that are compatible with the vision and its role to uh, increase the level of services, the inclusiveness of hospitality, and the goal of targeting, increasing the numbers of visitors to reach uh, the numbers that we are trying to achieve by 2030. The Saudi Airlines and many of its programs is working according to the vision and is working on developing its programs to increase the numbers and to present packages and different products. Briefly, we'll present some of the indicators of the availability of the Saudi Airlines on the local, regional and local level. We will see that Saudi Airlines serves a great number of visitors that exceeds a million visitors. There are more than 7 million followers on social media or global presence as Saudi Airlines We have more than 40,000 employees in Saudi Airlines with the availability of 6 million members of special loyalty clients programs. Those numbers make Saudi Airlines unique as it is the national carrier, and also shows the ability of accessibility different countries, different destinations. If we explore the expansion project for Saudi Airlines, we know that by 2030, Saudi Airlines will be reaching more than 55 new destinations as it differs in its location geographically in all the targeted areas. The uh, the s- the virtual network of Saudi Airlines extends to more than 800 global destinations with many of our partners and different strategic partners that places the Saudi Airlines in in a situation that enables it, or in a place that where it helps it to reach many destinations by working with its partners on its network. As we noticed with the availability of different programs that were presented in the past period in regards to providing the tourism visas and the initiatives provided by the Ministry of Hajj, we come to a point where we see that travel in the kingdom is based on uh, uh, view many categories. We see that the transit movement is very important to enrich uh, the increase in the numbers of visitors, of those who arrive for business or those who come for tourism. Having King Abdulaziz Airport, a new airport, will be a main requirement for the access movement and to increase the transit movement. Saudi Airlines are working to schedule their flights in accordance with having Jeddah Airport as a main airport to increase the numbers. In addition to the 200 mosque train and the ease of access to Mecca and Medina, and the ease of obtaining visas, or by providing the electronic visa and to link with different platforms that will add uh, enrich the experience by working with the appropriate authorities to increase the numbers of visitors through King Abdulaziz Airport. Of course, maybe you have presented this quickly, but the Saudi Airlines, we know our capabilities, and if we try to present the holidays program of Saudi Airlines, that's a program was designed by Saudi Airlines to provide uh, very unique travel packages, and those travel packages include the flights, accommodation, transportation, and also the tourist tours. This program was designed to target many categories, the ca- those categories that come here to the kingdom for tourism, or others who travel abroad also for tourism. Uh, in addition to that program, we're trying to attract those coming for Umrah and there's a specific platform for Umrah as it was linked with the GDS centralized system. The holiday package programs, those packages are diversified, and uh, there are many. The specific packages for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia that is designed for tourism purposes
includes many packages that will be part of the holiday program package.
نأتي يمكن إلى
Now we move on to maybe the
الباقات أو خلينا نقول المنتج
let's talk
الخاص
about the
بإطراء
specific
الحركة اللي هو
product about
ديسكفر.
attracting
زي ما ذكرنا
the
باقات
movement is
تشمل على
discovered.
خدمات
Those
سياحية داخل
packages
المملكة،
include
وموجهة
tourism
لكافة الوجهات
services for all
من خارج
destinations
المملكة
from
إلى
outside the
المملكة
kingdom into the kingdom
لتكوين
to
برامج سياحية وجولات
form
سياحية
uh,
تخدم قطاع
tourism
السياحة
packages that serves
بواسطة
the tourism
زيادة
sector and
الانتشار
targeting to
المتصل بقطاع
increase
السياحة.
the numbers in the
أيضا
tourism sector.
برنامج السعودية
And
للستوب أوفر
also the
أو
stopover program
الترانزيت.
or transit
هي
program.
خدمة
It is a
مرتبطة
service that
بالدولة
will
أو
be
بالاتفاقية
provided
تستهدف
that
الخدمة
targets
الركاب العابرين
the passengers
عبر
who
مطارات
come
السعودية
in transit
لمدة لا تزيد عن
to Saudi
48
Arabia
ساعة.
in a period of time that does not exceed
الخدمة
48
هذه
hours,
سوف
and this
يقدم
service
معاها
will be
إقامة
added to
ومواصلات
it
مجانية،
accommodation, a free
وأيضا
accommodation, and free
يكون
transportation.
مع الخدمة
And with along with this
توفير
services,
خدمات
the
عروض
service,
على مطاعم والفعاليات
they'll be
المختلفة في
given the
المملكة،
opportunity to
وتوفير كمان
visit
حجز
different
وبرامج
destination
سياحية
in the kingdom,
بحيث
in addition
إنه
to different tourism packages
الراكب أو الضيف
that
اللي
provide
يعبر
for the passenger or the guest
مطارات
that
المملكة
comes through the
حابب
airports of the
يستفيد
kingdom
من هذه
and they
الخدمة،
want to
يكون في
benefit from this
تنوع في
service.
المنتجات
There will be
المقدمة.
diversification in the products provided to them.
بالإضافة
In
إلى أنه
addition to
الخطوط السعودية
that, the
تعمل
Saudi Airlines
بصورة مباشرة
is
مع
trying
مؤسسة
to
الشؤون
link
الخارجية
directly with the platform of the ministry,
لإتاحة
the foreign
تأشيرة
ministry,
المرور والسياحة
to
من
provide
خلال
for the transit
المنصات
visa through
البيعية
the sales channels
للخطوط السعودية
for Saudi
والمنصات
Airlines
السعودية المتمثلة في
that
المواقع
are
المؤثرة
represented by a
شركة
certain destination within the kingdom,
الجوال وتطبيقات
even
الاتصال.
providing cell phone services.
لما بنتكلم يمكن اليوم عن
If when we
برنامج
talk today
السعودية
about the inclusiveness of
بالربط
the
مع
services, as we are linking Saudi Airlines, as
شركة
we're
الربط السعودية،
linking our services to the Saudi GDS,
بنتكلم على
we
منصة
are
السعودية للعمرة.
talking about
منصة
the Umrah
السعودية للعمرة
platform
صممت تحديدا
that
لاستقطاب
was specifically
القادمين
designed
إلى
to
المملكة العربية
attract those
السعودية
coming to the
وأدائهم.
kingdom to perform
ال-
Umrah.
ال- المفهوم
The
المصمم عليه المنصة مفهوم
the main
يتمحور
concept
حول
is based on
إمكانية حجز باقات العمرة
the availability to
بصورة سلسة
receive
وسهلة،
Umrah packages with
تتضمن
ease.
الطيران والإقامة
That
والمواصلات،
includes
بالإضافة إلى
the
إمكانية
flights,
إصدار الفيزا
reservations,
مع
accommodation, transportation, with the possibility of issuing the
الوجبات
visas,
السياحية كجزء من العمرة.
being it
ويمكن
part of
هذه
the
أحد
package. And
النقاط
maybe this
اللي
is
كمان
one of
ذكرت،
the points that
عملية
were
إعطاء
was mentioned
التجربة من ناحية
as far as enriching the
المنتجات
experience
المختلفة
by
وتوحيد
providing different products
الحلول
and unifying
وتوحيد
the solutions, and also
العرض المقدم
unifying
للضيف القادم
the
لأدائه.
type of services provided for the
ما
guests
يميز
coming to
منصة
perform
السعودية
Umrah.
للعمرة اللي
What
هو الربط
makes Saudi
المباشر مع
Airlines
الخطوط السعودية بإسقاط
unique
تذاكر الطيران المباشرة،
by issuing
كمان وجود
tickets
محتوى
directly with
بلغات متعددة
providing a content with
تستهدف
different languages that targets
الدول اللي يكون قادم منها
the
الضيف،
countries that the
ووجود
guest
العملات
arrive from, and also a currency
وإمكانيات
exchange
التسويق
and
الخاصة
the
بكل
ability
دولة مع
of
إمكانيات
marketing for each country with the capability of being able to provide for different payment methods.
الربط مع منصة السعودية للعمرة.
Linking our services to
تم
the
الربط مع
Umrah
المنصة
platform, we are currently linked to the platform
السعودية للعمرة جاهز على
and it's ready to
إمكانية إصدار الفيزا
for the
الإلكترونية
ability to issue
كما هي
electronic
مقدمة
visas
عبر
as it
المحرك
is
السعودي
provided
للبحث،
by the
بإمكانية
uh,
تقديم خدمات العمرة
central GDS
داخل
system
وخارج المملكة
and
باستهداف
providing Umrah services
مختلف
in the
الشرائح
kingdom, trying
من
to
البي
target
تو سي
different
إلى البي تو بي،
segments from
وكمان
B to
العمل
C and
مع
B to B,
شركاء داخل
as we
السعودية
are working with our partners
لبناء
in the kingdom to
محتوى وبناء
build
برامج سياحيا.
different
هذه
tourism
كلها تمثل
program content. All of
مباحث
this
أساسية
are main pillars
نراها إحنا في عطلات
as
الدولية
we see in the
كمقاييس أساسية
holiday
لتطوير
programs
المنتج.
of the airlines, main
تتمحور في
pillars to
الشراكات
develop the product
للطائمة
that is based on developing
وتتطور
the
مع
partnerships
مقدمي
that continue
الخدمات
and for the
للعمرة
service
والباقات السياحية،
providers
وكمان
provide Umrah
تكوين
services
برامج عمرة سياحية.
in addition to
فئات
providing
مختلفة
Umrah programs that targets
بالإضافة
different
إلى
targets
استهداف الحركة
in addition
العابرة
to targeting
وتكوين
the transit
برامج
movement
سياحية
and
اللي
to
احنا
provide tourism
نستهدفها
programs
تكون برامج
as we are trying
سياحية
to target
مكملة لبرنامج العمرة
programs that will be inclusive with the Umrah
الدعائي
program to
بالمملكة
to
والتسويق
better
للوجهات
identify
السياحية.
and make those visiting
وشكرا
the kingdom aware of the
لكم
services
الله خير.
provided. Thank you.
أشكرك أستاذ ماجد.
Thank you, Mr. Majid, for the presentation.
ننتقل الآن
And now we move on to
قبل الأخيرة
the
اليوم
paper before the last of today, and that's from the global platform Agoda,
أنظمة
established
العالمية
the importance of the distribution system GDS to systems of marketing and improving hotel and hospitality service
مدير تسويق
provided by Dr. Adam Hamadan, a marketing director of Agoda. Maybe you should stop sharing so Mr. Adam can start his presentation.
شكرا لك.
Thank you.
السلام عليكم شايفين
Peace be
السكرين
upon you.
بالصورة؟
Do you see the screen clearly?
تمام بسم الله الرحمن
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, and peace, blessing be upon Prophet Muhammad and his companions, my dear audience, peace be upon you. In the beginning, I would like to point out that my thanks are extended to the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah, led by His Excellency the Minister and all the dear audience for giving me this opportunity. My name is Ahmed Adam. I'm honored today to talk to you today on behalf of Aguda to ensure the title of the paper will not be about the pandemic, but of course the pandemic was and still have a great impact on different sectors, and one of those sectors is the travel and tourism, and a good company in our continuous contact with different workers in the sector. We know exactly the impacts on the sector on a local and global level. On the positive side, we are spending great efforts on raising awareness, moved by the local demand in the kingdom, so in Riyadh and Jeddah cities, but maybe the growth levels are declining or weak in Mecca and Medina, and that's of course due to the closures.
بالنسبة
As far as the what Agud has conducting
على محاولة
recently is trying to find innovative solutions to use the
وفي هذا
modern technologies to better serve the visitor. And this meeting we'll talk in details about working with the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah in enriching the experience of those profound menus and to develop technology to find appropriate solutions that are compatible with the needs of the pilgrim and also meet the expectations of the Umrah companies, in addition to our main partners from the hotels and the accommodation facilities. Before we talk about good and the enrichment of the Umrah journey, as has mentioned by my colleagues, the importance of GDS and the use of technology so that the GDS will create a very powerful network that includes the service providers linked to the final user. And as mentioned, as far as transportation, accommodation, and hotel reservation, and as far as the personal experience that the visitor encounter, for example, to the update of the prices in the past was a very tiresome process. It took a long time, and required a workload of 5 to 6 hours. Now it takes a few minutes to update the prices using technology, in addition to the fast spread of the information. Aguda is a unique part of Booking Holding, global entity. It's one considered one of the fastest growers company in the world. We have more than 50 offices globally, and it covers the strategic location, such as Dubai office that serves our partners and our clients, serving all the Middle East clients and North Africa. This is our office that I'm currently speaking from. In addition to the great expansion, Agoda have a very unique partnership with a number of partners, partnership with banks, airlines, and also the tourism offices, global tourism offices. And Aguda also always have innovative solutions, as they have certain marketing programs with providing unique services for a very expanded network that continuously expanding by the loyalty programs provided to the clients and the global coverage for different accommodation for the visitors. As far as our partnership with the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah, that we are very honored to have, and as we are trying to reach the enrichment of the pilgrims, Aguda is still continuing to provide different programs as far as the reservation of the hotel, visa issue, and providing transportation by using technology, since Umrah have many entities that work to receive the full Umrah service, and to have different contact system by all the different entities, and linking it to the GDS centralized system, as we also try to link it with Agoda systems. Of course, Agoda uh, interest in Saudi market is not only in Umrah specifically, but it extends to other activities as far as the marketing and participating in the marketing campaign in the kingdom and the Middle East in general, and to build a unique content to acknowledge the clients of the different destinations in the kingdom. That will be a win-win situation for all. We'll talk more specifically about the Umrah journey. What are the specific issues that we'll be talking about today, as we agreed with the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah? The first path, Aguda is a main service provider that working on the centralized system through the expanded Aguda systems, and also by the technological links that we have. This is as far as the first path. The second path that we agreed on is in regards to the development of a specialized platform for the service providers on a local level, so that the reservation will be done with ease, that provides the prices and the destinations that are continuously updated in accordance with coordination with our service providers in hotels and transportation, since we have a specific channel for those performing Umrah, and those prices will be provided on our providers to the service providers of Umrah that are authorized to conduct business in Saudi Arabia. Of course, we will talk in more into details about this path. The third path is in regards to the guests of Allah, or the pilgrims as we refer to them. In addition to issuing visas to facilitate the journey of Umrah, which is considered a great transformation in the Umrah market, as we are trying to benefit of the technical services on the internet that facilitates the reservation process, and also serves our partners of the hotel operators, and to increase the demand from different markets, in addition to benefit from the network of Gouda, which is continually growing.
هذا بالنسبة
This is
للمسار
in regard to the three paths, a very important point that I would like to point out to our partners, that to ensure
تحديث الإمكانيات
to update our capabilities continuously,
ضمان
to it's very of great importance to
كل هذه
uh, be sure that we are always available on those different platforms continuously.
المسار
Now we are trying to understand the designated path for the umbrella operators and the characteristics of this channel. The very important characteristics of a good in regards to umbrella for our providers is flexibility and the hotel or resilience, and that enables the hotel to control prices to the benefit of the umbrella. That helps to achieve the strategy and the vision of the hotel, in contrast with the traditional methods that we worked with in the past, that we service providers cannot change the prices, but so the flexibility is a great characteristic, and also the benefit from the good network, a wide network or expanded network on a global level, is in the methods of payment.
كما تساعد
In addition to the fact that the channel bring in all the service providers closer,
وتساهم في
as it creates different opportunities to increase business by marketing through the platform, in addition to a good different and diversified programs.
فيما يلي بعض الأسئلة الموجودة
There are very common questions that are raised. As I'm trying to share some of the information I have with the audience today, one of the common questions, most common questions that we receive is:
يمكن تفعيل قناة العمر
is it possible to activate the channel of Umrah through a discount, a percentage discount? Whether the hotel wants to have prices at certain dates, for example, the price is 1,000 riyal, so I can the hotel change the price, or could it be a discount percentage? If there is a discount percentage,
نسبة خصم مئوية ثابتة
it's a fixed percentage, and uh, as well known as the best available rate.
وهي الطريقة الأمثل
And this is the ideal method to manage or administer this channel and to increase the revenues, and is easily controlled by certain hotels. But if the hotels want to put their prices directly on the channel, that also can be achieved through the system. The second common question, specifically from our partners in Mecca and Medina, specifically in the beginning of the program, and was about whether the hotel is previously registered in the GDS central system. So, what is the benefit by using Agoda platform? And of course, in addition to availability of Agoda as an accredited supplier for the centralized system, Agoda also can participate and help our hotel partners through a very expanded network and through a very unique network of partners, and through specialized programs that has many innovative initiatives and help increase the revenues of those hotels. Surely, if there are any questions that needed to be answered or I did not review during this presentation, I'll be more than glad, and the team of Agood will be more than glad to communicate with you, and we will distribute our contact information at the end of this meeting. Before our conclusion, I would like to stress the importance of updating the capabilities and the prices continuously, so there will be a maximum benefit from a good network, in addition to updating our information on the centralized reservation system that will enable us to be globally well known, and to our partners in Mecca. In addition to updating the capabilities, just make sure to also to engage with a good team to update our information through using modern technologies that will help a long-term strategic partnership. And we are more than happy to uh, uh, contact our hotel operators partners and make sure that we provide solutions that provide services with least effort and helps the growth of the hotels.
وفي الختام
And in
أود أن أشكر
conclusions,
شكرا مرة أخرى
I thank you sincerely,
الحفل
and I thank the Minister of Hajj for allowing us the opportunity to be with you here. Thank you for listening, and hopefully they will be able to visit you soon in the kingdom.
بإذن الله
Thank you.
شرفونا
That will be a great honor for us, and hopefully the pandemic will be over and you will be able to visit us.
إلى آخر
Now we move to the last paper today before we get to the open discussion.
والتي سيلقيها المهندس أحمد بن
And
الجين
Engineer Ahmed Al Jain is an official from the Saudi Global Distribution System for the Essentials of Technology paper. He will be talking about registration requirements and mechanism for membership of hotel and hospitality services providers in Saudi GDS. Engineer Ahmed, if you may, peace be upon you. Peace be upon you. Is the screen clear for? In the name of Allah, gracious and merciful, peace be upon Prophet Muhammad. Good evening, Your Excellencies, attending this conference, and hopefully we'll be achieving our goals. Today we're talking about the requirements and the mechanism for membership of the hotel and hospitality service providers in Saudi GDAs that will enable the hotel owners and the accommodation service providers to understand the requirements to be part of the membership of the hospitality service providers in the Saudi GDS to continue achieving the goals that has been set by the GDS. So today we'll be talking about the requirements of the hotel's membership and what are the characteristics of the what are the requirements for the accommodation service provider, and finally we'll be talking about the direct mechanism membership for the GDS system. In the beginning, we'd like to point out about the requirement for the hotels, and as has been mentioned by my colleague Dr. Abdulrahman Shams, they must be licensed appropriately according to the appropriate authorities and the Ministry of Tourism, and also of great importance to have a licensing from the Ministry of Tourism, a license from the municipality, a license from the commercial register also. And as far as the hotels in Mecca, Medina, and that are concerned providing the services directly for the pilgrims, the pilgrim must be identified in the electronic path of Umrah through the Ministry of Tourism. And in regards to other hotels in the kingdom, to provide the data on the service provided, so that pilgrims can benefit from the services provided on different platforms, as they can directly register on the portal, on the appropriate portals, and after that they will receive a text message to the registered hotels, whether they were in the electronic path for Umrah, whether they were in hotels in Mecca or Medina or other hotels in the kingdom, in addition to adding the banking information of that hotel, in addition adding the license of VAT or added value tax, and also trying to identify the mechanism of registering for the hotels. As we have mentioned, the first mechanism, they must have the licensing from the Ministry of Tourism and any other documents that need provided. And after that, the hotel must register the hotel or identify the hotel through the Ministry of Tourism. The second step, the hotel must add the banking information that will be reviewed and audited, and after receiving accreditation, they will receive a text message to the delegate of that specific hotel and train the employees on using the system. And then after that, the hotel will be able to add their data through the CRS system. And the final step, the data will be provided by the hotel, will be shown on all the platforms linked to the GDS. Here, we'll talk about the characteristics of the data administration system that enables the hotel to present and show the vacancies they have available, and the hotel will be able to show their vacancies by the service providers, as has been mentioned by my colleague Dr. Ahmed Adam. The hotel can view the data of their vacancies directly, or the service providers accommodation service providers go down number of holidays and different companies, and hopefully very soon Musafir company and different accommodation service providers that are linked with us will be linked with us very soon. So we'll be talking very soon about the privileges that this system allows them, the users administration, and maybe the main user administrator to have understand and see the understand the policy of the hotel, the requirements of the policies of cancellation, the types of rooms, the vacancies in the room, the prices, stoppage of sale. The systems allows directly to declare stoppage of sales, the commercial. Uh, as you know, we have seasons for service. We have a season for those accommodation service providers, as they can present or provide their marketing campaign through that system, and also the system allows for the profit margins, the management of the reservations. The hotel can show all the services provided by the hotel, and the service also provide the dashboard system and specialized reports to show all the services or present all the services on reservations and all the reports needed by the hotel. And finally, the audit system, all that is done on the system, the admin can view all the updates, and there's and the system enables you to see all the updates. Now we move on the requirements of the accommodation service providers, or also referred to as the suppliers. The main requirements for the accommodation service providers on the local level: the accommodation services provider will provide the commercial registration, the VAT license, and also an application for membership. From outside of the kingdom, they must provide a commercial registers accredited, a bank account, and application for membership that can be conducted by the portal, the Saudi GDS, and will be the mechanism will be explained. As I have mentioned, the application will be provided by the service provider, and then after that it will be evaluated and accredited, and it will be that hotel will be accredited by using the appropriate links, and then the appropriate team to develop the process and continue reviewing the process. And after receiving certification, if there's full accreditation by the technical team for the Saudi GDS, there will be and then the service provider, accommodation service provider, will be able to show the full vacancies by all the links and accredited links in the Saudi GDS. And I thank you all for allowing me to give you my presentation.
يعطيك العافية.
Thank you, engineer, and hopefully
حتنهال عليكم الطلبات.
very soon you'll be receiving a huge number of applications. Before we move on to Q&A, there is a closing speech for the Deputy Minister of Hajj and Umrah.
يتفضل صاحب المعالي
If he may, please,
دكتور عبد الفتاح مشاط.
Dr. Abdel Fattah Mashada. Dr. Saleh. Thank you all. In the beginning, I would like to thank all my colleagues, the provider of the papers that has been presented today. That is a great addition for this gathering, and we are hoping here in the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah, through the strategy of the ministry, to have a safe experience for the pilgrims, in which we can achieve the highest margins of profitability. In the conclusion, I would like to add that the papers presented today, that it has been diversified from different government entities, private sector. The Ministry of Hajj and Umrah is supporting strongly and participating strongly the participation of the private sector in the institutional transformation to provide services in Hajj. And we always trying to raise the level of the services and the experience provided to the pilgrims, and given the opportunity to have a specialized service according to the global standards and the international standards. All that has been presented and will be presented in the future through the different platforms of Hajj and Umrah. We are keen to have the participation of the private sector in this inclusive system, and we add the characteristics or the requirement, which is transparency, to show those services with a great deal of transparency, and to be the first and the last choice to use this platform to use the appropriate service to them. And I hope for all dedication in their this is just the first meeting of a number of meetings that we will have in the future. And as His Excellency the Minister has pointed out, that in the next days, in the next weeks, there will be more and more conferences and workshops for the successful partners, so they will be better familiarized with different platforms of the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah as we provide services. And for Umrah and Hajj, I hope for all success, and hopefully in the next section of Q&A, hopefully it will be fruitful. That will add to what we have started in the beginning of this conference. I repeat my thanks extended to all who participated in this conference. Thank you.
شكرا صاحب المعالي. يعطيك العافية.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
سبحانه وتعالى أن يكمل الجهود هذه.
And we are hoping that all those efforts will be successful from this conference to other conferences.
الآن أنا قبل ما أدخل في الأسئلة عندي السادة وكلاء الوزارة دكتور حسن الشريف موجود والدكتور
Before we get to the Q&A, we have the deputies of the ministers.
أستاذ محمد البيجاوي. إذا في أي أحد عنده
If there are any
تعليق على
remarks or any things to be added by the deputy minister, Dr. Hussein, are there any remarks you'd like to add, Dr. Hussein? Thank you. I thank the minister and the deputy ministers all working on this conference. We are very glad to see that huge number all participants in this gathering and this virtual conference, uh, whether we are talking about the Saudi GDS or the results. If we speak about in the future, we are hoping that uh, the impact has already started, and as we all try to benefit to better serve the pilgrims and the quality of the services provided. That's we are trying to reach to improve the quality of the service.
اسف معلش. انا كنت احسب اسمه الاستاذ عبد الرحمن ابو عبد الرحمن، معذره يا استاذ محمد. طيب شكرا لك دكتور حسين.
Thank you,
استاذ
Dr.
محمد البيجاوي وكيل وزاره
Ustad
الخارجيه
Mohammed
والمدينه المنوره على
Al-Bijawi.
افضل الصلاه واتم التسليم. اذا تقدر اذا عندك مداخله كرم.
If you have any remarks,
شكرا دكتور
Ibrahim.
ثامر.
Thank you, Dr.
بسم الله
Thamer.
والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله.
Allah most gracious, most merciful. In the beginning, all my thanks extended to the Minister of Hajj and Umrah and his Deputy Minister and all their excellencies that have participated in ensuring that this meeting is held. We are seeing the Minister as the are ensuring that the digital transformation is implemented and moving from the traditional methods to the new era electronic transformation. And hopefully that we will be inclusively working with all the participating as service provider. We as the ministry and different government entities, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is proud of all that is provided, electronic services provided, and today represented by the Ministry of Hajj. All those transactions and the facilitation and the infrastructure provided for all Muslims throughout the world, and this the ministry is keen to prove to all that each and every one of the Allah guests or Rahman guests, the pilgrims, can have the service, receive the highest level of services with great levels of transparency, and also ensure to help them about the impression of which they experience. And this is will raise the bar higher for the service providers to compete for the benefit of the final user. In the ministry we are emphasizing and here in Medina that will be a great supporter for the sector as they try to provide the best services, and the journey of the pilgrim will be from the idea to the memory, as we have mentioned. That's our slogan. Thank you all.
اذا كان دكتور عبد العزيز وزان موجود وله
If Dr. Abdelaziz Wazan would like to intervene.
او ننتقل للاسئله. طيب طبعا هو اكثر سؤال وصلنا كان يتحدث
Of
عن
course, the common questions was always of how to apply. How can we record our OTA?
تسجيل وسينشر ان شاء الله على حساب التويتر
There will be a link that we provided on Twitter today after the end of this virtual council. But I will start with this very common question, which is, and it's directed to the operator engineer. Is there
يعني هل حيكون في بيئه اللي هي البيئه التجريبيه
there'll be
للمؤسسات الصغيره والمتوسطه
a virtual environment for the SMEs, or there'll be support for SMEs,
تقدم خدمات من خلال
so they will be able to provide services through the Saudi GDS. If you may, engineer, explain to us further. Yes, it is available. The after the application, after they apply, then they will be able to use the experimental section of it as the superintendent Abdulrahman Shams of the Saudi GDS, that we always be working with the startups or the new companies in Saudi Arabia as we support them and help them with the linking process, deal with all the electronic and issues and provide guidance.
وصلنا شكرا لك وصلنا سؤال
There's a question. Is the increase in the number of those perform in Umrah in the next 10 years will be gradual, or there's a specific year that we'll see a spike? I hope that Dr. Abdel Shams. Brother Thamir, if you allow me,
الجميع
I just wanted to thank all. I would like to thank you,
كل شيء
and I'm sorry that I have to leave. I
التوفيق
did uh,
للجانب
see and view. I was here when you were presenting all your
المتميز
scientific papers, and
الإدارة
we thank all the Saudi Airlines, Sir Ahmed Al Harbi, all the entities that had Aguda, all the entities that participated today. We will continue our commitment to provide our services and enrich the experience of the pilgrim and to serve all the pilgrims in different parts of the world. Hoping you the best and thank you, Your Excellency.
طيب السؤال نرجع لسؤالنا هل ستكون
Okay, one
هناك
more
زيادة
questions.
في
Will there be a gradual
أيهما
increase
ستكون الزيادة
in a specific year, or will the increase be gradual? As is the nature of this process, we know it's the increase is gradual. There are many elements that affect the increase in the numbers, but of course, it will be a gradual increase, and with the continuous efforts by different entities working on this sector to achieve the vision. We are hoping to see an organized gradual increment increase so that we can provide appropriate services that meets the expectations of all those performing playing. Of course, it's a gradual increase, but it's not an increase in a specific year until we reach the year 2030. We are hoping to have 30 million pilgrims perform in Umrah.
طبعا هناك أسئلة تتحدث عن فتح الطيران العمرة هذه طبعا كلها خارج إطار
Of course, there are many questions about
اليوم
reopening the travel. So we will not. Of course, this is not in the frame of this forum,
الأسئلة كلها تحديدا
but we are hoping that all the questions will be
الأوراق
in
الموضوع
regards to the papers presented today in this forum.
طيب الآن
Now,
هناك سؤال موجه لأجودة
there's a question to Aguda.
حروب أجودة مع
Can you link
الوكالة
Aguda?
السياحية والسماح بالتصفح
Uh,
الوكالة بحجز موقع
can you link Aguda offers to all the other platforms? Maybe it's a general question, but it has to do with what the pilgrims or those performing Umrah need to know. Thank you. As far as linking Aguda with the different companies systems, the technology provided available. Yes, we have an environment that allows for this, so that the end user of the client of the tourism can use the supply of Aguda that will be available through the link with Aguda. So yes, that's the answer to the question. That is possible, and it's also possible to contact the strategic partners of Aguda to engage in discussions to talk about the requirements of the linkage to the different companies.
طبعا هناك ثناء من
Of course,
على
there is a great deal of appreciation to the presentation provided by Saudi Airlines and Aguda. So I just wanted to convey this appreciation by the audience today. So we thank them for participating with us today with the papers, and we would like to thank him for the presentation. The last question
الآن عندنا
we have today
يقول
is
لك هل الربط
the
بالسعودي
linkage to Saudi GDS will be through the OTAs
الهوتيلز نفسها
or by the hotels
الفنادق هي
entities themselves, or the
هناك
hotels will be linked to the OTAs. But maybe there was a miscommunication about the mechanism of the linkage itself. So, Saad Rahman Shams, if you can talk about the mechanism of how to link, the companies can link to the Saudi GDS. Thank you. Maybe if you allow me, I would like to clarify the picture of what has been stated already. The link will be by the OTAs. What is a specialized platform that provide the service, or maybe the service provider have their own portal and they want to work inclusively with the Saudi GDS. Of course, this service is also provided so that it will be an OTA for the services, their services. So all the options are available. Any service provider that has good to go or ready portal with that is in accordance with the standards as far as the security and the technical aspects. Of course, this chain of different elements of evaluation to any platform that would like to join us, and any hotel or any chain hotels can be linked to us and work with us through their OTA. There is also another question, and I see that is important as far as the service providers, the hotel service provider, foreign hotel service providers, can they show their services on that on this platform? We are working on according to our global standards. So the focal point is that you cannot be allowed to show their services on platform, and until they acquire the appropriate license from the government entities. So if they do have those licenses, those foreign companies, they will be able to show their services on this on our platforms. There are many questions, but I see that those questions are want to get into details. Most of those questions are directed to Saudi GDS, so I'm hoping that our colleagues in Saudi GDS centralized system, they'll be able to answer the questions in details according to each case. So I don't see the need to present it to the public now. At this point, allow me in the conclusion to thank His Excellency the Minister of Hajj and Umrah as he come to this conference. I would like to thank all the deputy ministers and all the presenters of the papers today. And this is the first virtual meeting. Will be followed by many virtual meet conferences and workshops to improve, enhance, and enable, and to improve the relationship between the ministry and all the service providers. And the goal, the first goal and the last, is to serve the guests of Rahman and Allah and the pilgrims. There will be, if you have any further questions about certain cases, whether they're local or foreign or abroad, we'll be able to answer the questions. Thank you all. Hoping that you'll have a productive week. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Tamer. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Tamer.
شكرا دكتور تامر، شكرا للجميع. توفيق.